The Sunrise of Confidence. A 7-day journey to fluent English. Mia Hart stood at the window of her small apartment in Brighton, watching the early morning lights spill across the rooftops. Her heart pounded with a mixture of hope and dread. Just 7 days, she would present her research project to an international panel of experts, all of whom spoke English. For years she had studied grammar rules, memorized vocabulary lists, and practiced pronunciation drills. Yet when the moment came to speak, her tongue tied itself in knots. Today, she resolved, would be different. She would overcome hesitation and speak with the confidence she had always dreamed of. Day 1. Embracing the immersion mindset. The moment Mia opened her eyes, she reached for her phone and switched its language to English. Toothpaste tube, cereal, box, even the subway map, all bore unfamiliar labels she now had to decipher. The world around her transformed into a living classroom. She reminded herself of her mantra, "I am not learning, I am communicating." She brewed coffee while listening to an English podcast about marine biology, her field of study. As the host described the migratory patterns of whales, Mia jotted down new phrases. Echolocation, buoyant force, oceanic currents. But more importantly, she noticed the speaker's rhythm, the natural rise and fall of sentences. When the podcast ended, Mia pressed play and shadowed the speaker, repeating each sentence immediately after it echoed in her ears. At lunchtime, she dined at a local cafe and struck up a conversation with the barista. Heart racing, she ordered her sandwich entirely in English, resisting the urge to switch to her native tongue. The barista smiled encouragingly when Mia stumbled on whole grain ciabatta, and Mia laughed at herself, saying, "It's like a tongue twister." That simple moment of humor erased layers of self-consciousness. As dusk fell, Mia journaled in English about her experiences, writing freely without stopping to correct every mistake. She realized that hesitation often stemmed from a fear of imperfection. Tonight, she vowed, she would embrace mistakes as stepping stones to fluency. Day 2. Building a robust vocabulary foundation. Mia woke to the sound of seagulls outside her window. She had compiled a list of 50 high-frequency words and phrases critical to her field and daily life. Instead of rote memorization, she wove them into a story. The curious dolphin navigated the turbulent waters. She imagined herself narrating this tale to a group of colleagues. Each word became a character, each phrase a plot twist. Mid-morning, she met with her mentor, Professor Langley, via video call. He challenged Mia to explain her research, using only her 50 new words. At first, she faltered, searching for simpler and synonyms, But gradually she found clarity. The dolphin's sonar helps it find food. Her explanation grew smoother with each repetition. After the call, Mia recorded herself presenting the same segment and listened back critically. She marked moments of hesitation and noted which words caused her to pause. Armed with this insight, she practiced those specific phrases on her way to the lab, repeating them aloud during every elevator ride, corridor stroll, and even while washing her hands. That evening, she reviewed her vocabulary list in context, creating flashcards on her phone with example sentences. Before drifting to sleep, she quizzed herself aloud. What helps the dolphin find food? Echolocation. The word rolled off her tongue like a small victory. Day 3. The power of active listening and shadowing on. The third morning, Mia attended a public lecture at the Brighton Marine Institute. The keynote speaker, Dr. Zhao, spoke about climate change's impact on coral reefs. Mia sat in the front row, notebook open, but her ears absorbed more than her pen could capture. She focused on intonation, stress patterns, and linking sounds. How climate change became climate change. How coral reef sounded like coral reef. After the lecture, Mia approached Dr. Zhao and asked, "Could you explain how ocean acidification affects coral reproduction?" Despite her nervousness, her question was clear, and Dr. Zhao engaged her in a 5-minute conversation. Mia listened intently and responded in complete sentences, her words flowing more freely than ever before. Back home, she played a recording of the lecture, shadowing Dr. Zhao, sentence by sentence. Each time her tongue stumbled, she replayed the phrase until her voice matched the speaker's tone and speed. She did this for an hour, her reflection in the laptop screen, mimicking the lecture's cadence. Later, Mia drafted a blog post in English, summarizing the lecture's key points. She shared it on a public forum and received feedback from native speakers. Their comments pointed out a few grammatical slips, but overall praised her clear and engaging style. Mia realized that real-world listening and responding were the fastest paths to fluency. Day 4. Intensive speaking practice and self-recording by. Day 4. Mia felt a surge of momentum. She set up a mini studio in her living room, phone on tripod, mic at the ready. She chose 3 prompts. Describe your research in 2 minutes. Discuss a recent marine conservation breakthrough. And explain why you love marine biology. She recorded each one in 1 take, then immediately recorded again, aiming to reduce filler words like and you know. After reviewing the recordings, Mia identified her most persistent hesitations. Transitions between ideas and specific technical terms. She scripted short bridging sentences, moving on to in contrast, and practiced them until they became second nature. At midday, she organized a virtual meetup with fellow learners. They each gave a 2-minute talk, offered feedback, and cheered one another's progress. When it was Mia's turn, she presented her refined script, pausing only for emphasis, not out of uncertainty. Her peers noticed her transformation and applauded her clarity. In the evening, Mia joined an online language exchange. She spent an hour chatting with a native speaker from Canada about daily routines, then switched to academic topics. Every time she hesitated, she forced herself to continue speaking, even if it meant simplifying her ideas. She discovered that the act of pushing through pauses built neural pathways for fluent speech. Day 5. Thinking in English and mental rehearsal. On the 5th day, Mia decided to silence her inner translator. From the moment she woke, she narrated her actions in English. I'm brushing my teeth. I'm making oatmeal with blueberries. When a stray thought drifted in her native language, she immediately converted it into English. During her afternoon lab work, she described each experiment aloud as if teaching a class. Now I add 5 milliliters of solution A to solution B. The mixture will turn cloudy because... Colleagues glanced curiously, but Mia paid them no mind. She was rewiring her brain to operate directly in English. That night, she lay in bed and visualized her presentation. In her mind's eye, she stepped onto the stage, greeted the panel, and launched into her opening. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. She rehearsed every sentence, every gesture, until the scene felt as real as a vivid dream. When she finally drifted to sleep, her subconscious continued the rehearsal. Day 6. Simulating real-life high-stakes conversations. And Day 6. Mia enlisted the help of Professor Langley and 2 friends to stage a mock panel interview. The living room transformed into a formal conference hall. Professor Langley played the role of the lead interviewer, while her friends alternated between skeptical experts and enthusiastic supporters. Mia began her presentation with confidence. She fielded rapid-fire questions about methodology, statistical significance, and future research directions. When one friend asked a challenging question, how would you address potential flaws in your sampling technique? Mia paused only briefly, then replied, that's a valid concern. In future studies, I plan to increase sample size and incorporate randomized selection to mitigate bias. Her answer was precise, fluent, and free of hesitation. After the simulation, the panel offered constructive feedback. They noted moments where Mia could vary her tone more or simplify jargon for broader audiences. Mia thanked them and immediately applied their suggestions in a second round. Each iteration shaved off more filler words and sharpened her delivery. That evening, Mia treated herself to a celebratory dinner, speaking only in English with the waiter. She realized that confidence in high-stakes scenarios came from deliberate practice under pressure. Day 7. Reflection, real-life application, and the big day on. The final morning, Mia journaled in English about her journey, the fears she conquered, the techniques that worked, and the mindset shifts that made the difference. She reviewed her vocabulary flashcards one last time and practiced her opening lines until they felt like second nature. At noon, she headed to the conference center. Her heart fluttered, but she recalled her mantra. I am communicating ideas, not performing perfectly. She stepped onto the stage under bright lights, faced the panel of international experts, and began. Good afternoon. It's an honor to share my research on whale migratory behavior with you. For the next 20 minutes, Mia spoke fluidly, her words flowing like ocean currents. When a question arose about statistical models, she responded with the same ease she had on day 6. The panel nodded appreciatively, scribbling notes and smiling. After her presentation, the head of the panel stood and applauded. Thank you, Dr. Hart. Your clarity and passion were truly impressive. Mia exhaled, relief and joy washing over her. In 7 days, she had transformed from a hesitant speaker into a confident communicator. Epilogue. Beyond 7 days, Mia's journey did not end with the conference. She continued to immerse herself in English, reading novels, attending seminars, and engaging in spontaneous conversations. Yet she knew that the 7-day challenge had given her a blueprint. Immerse, build vocabulary, listen actively, practice speaking, think in English, simulate high-stakes scenarios, and reflect. As she packed her bags to return home, Mia looked forward to new challenges, new audiences, and new horizons. She had discovered that fluency was not a distant destination, but a daily practice, a sunrise that rose a little higher each day. And with that, Mia stepped into her future, speaking English without hesitation, one confident sentence at a time.